Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live. I'm your host, Jake Johnson. Tonight is a redo from Monday night, which I didn't do. It's a redo because I didn't do. Now I'm going to do. Even though I don't want to do, I'm going to do. That's what we're doing tonight. How's everybody doing? Yes, I can talk a little. Last night, I got up to the microphone, got ready to press the go button. I did my usual warm-up. Nothing. No sound. No vocals. Couldn't do it. Had to call in sick. I do apologize. I'm sorry for that. I don't like doing that. But it was a necessary evil. I needed to rest. So I've had some rest, and now I'm here. But I don't have enough voice to do a read, so I'm not going to do Bible study tonight. We'll do it next weekend where I can get into it properly. I don't want to cheat you guys out of the experience, so I'd rather be more to form when I try to do that. But I'm here, and we're going to hang out. Everything's groovy. I got a nice hot cup of coffee. Yeah, press the buttons and all that stuff. Yeah. All right. Amanda says, hi, Untethered Live family. Good to see you all. Happy Tuesday. Or it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. What? LOL, I hope everyone's doing good. Hiya, Squeaky Jake. How are you tonight? Squeaky and Raspy. And craggly. And all the other words that describe somebody that can't talk. Ozzy Osbourne died. In other news, that's horrible. And I guess the Prince of Darkness is going to find the King of Light and know that he wasn't what he thought he was, right? God bless Ozzy Osbourne and his family. We're going to miss having no more tears. We're going to miss riding that crazy train. We're going to miss calling Mama to tell her we're coming home. What a loss the world feels with the loss of Ozzy Osbourne. Going back to the 70s, Black Sabbath, it's named after a horror movie, in fact. And Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, who oddly enough did quite a few Christian things, expressed quite a few Christian beliefs. Most of his lyrics have a Christian lean to them and is a warning against evil, even though he calls himself the Prince of Darkness. It's like a character, like an opposite character, you know. Weird. He was reported as saying that he thought Jesus was his savior, which is good. He was saved, hopefully. And hopefully he goes in peace to his maker. Anyway, Amanda says, R.I.P. Ozzy. You will definitely be missed. What a legend. Right on. Kevin Bernard, what's up, my brother? Nice to see you. Kevin says, hello, Amanda. Hello, Jake. I hope you're feeling better. I feel like I called Mike Tyson a sissy. But other than that, good. Thank you, sir. Thank you for asking. Or thank you for stating. However you say that. Amanda says, Kevin, you're first in chat. You get the gold star. And here it is, buddy. Nice to see you. And Amanda says, hi. Hi back at you. Aaron, what's up, buddy? He says, R.I.P. Theo, too. So tragic. Oh, yeah. Theo from The Cosby Show died. It's weird that he outlived Cosby. He played Cosby's kids, and he died before Cosby. Weird. But, yeah, that's another death in the news this week. His name was Jamal something or other. I want to say Williams, but that's probably not it. Malcolm Jamal Warner. That's it. Malcolm Jamal Warner. And Amanda says, hello, Aaron. And yes, it is. Kevin says, hello, Aaron. And Aaron says, wave your hand. And Kevin says, rest up that voice box. I'm trying, buddy. I'm trying real hard. I got a plethora of new medicine coming. I'm doing the albuterol and the what's the other thing? Nebulizer, and I'm doing a course of prednisone. I got the Mucinex. I got the Ricola. I got it all, buddy. I'm going for it. I'm not gonna let it beat me. Amy Elizabeth is here. She says prayers. Hello, Amy. Prayers back at you. Amanda says, hi, Amy. And Kevin says, hello, Amy. And Amy says, Ozzy said he found Jesus before he died. Wonderful. I'm glad. That's always a thing you need to try to do before you go, because that's why we're here after all. It's amazing it takes most of us so long to do that. Most of us wait to the very last minute to get right with the man. Hopefully this group is doing it a little sooner. That's what I'm aiming for anyway. Amy said, hi, everyone. Amanda says, in better news, Jake has a nebulizer and an albuterol and steroids coming soon for his voice. Yes. Fingers crossed and prayers it all works. Well, they ain't but one of a few things it can be. It's either the bad stuff, which I'm leaning towards, or it's a really weird, severe case of bronchitis that will not go away, which I'm not prone to bronchitis, so I don't know why that would be. And I'm also tired, but I'm not sick. Like, I don't have a fever or anything like that. Just this sandpaper in my throat. So I don't know. All I can tell you is I'm going to take it like a man, and it's going to have to fight for it if it wants to get me. Aaron says, hi, Dimples. Oh, we got a new nickname in the house. Dimples. Nice. Amy says, yes, Aaron, Malcolm Jamal Warner died too. That's sad. He drowned, caught in an undercurrent. Wow. That doesn't sound suspicious at all. I will refrain out of respect from making a black people can't swim joke here. We're not going to do that, but damn. I thought he died of some illness or something. He drowned. That's terrible. Amy says, I'm Dimples. I figured. And Aaron says, yep, the one and only. And Amy says, Amanda, he needs to push fluids too, especially with the steroids. Yeah. I'm also drinking lots of water now with lemon and honey. Aaron says, drowning is such a bad death. I've seen and watched people do it in my line of work. I've heard that out of the ways to go, that's one of the worst, because you have to be present during it. You know, I mean, you feel it happening. You can't escape it. Other forms of death, you're unconscious or you're, freaked out. You have a heart attack, whatever. When you're drowning, you're just there. You just drowned. So it's quite painful from what I understand. Amy says, I have lots of nebulizer supplies if you need more. Thank you, Amy. I'm not calling you for that. I don't know what I need yet because I don't know how to use the thing, but when it gets here, we'll find out. Amy says, Alice Cooper's a Christian too now. He's been a Christian for a long, long time. You can track the loss of Alice Cooper in music to him becoming a Christian. So when he dropped off, That's when he found Jesus, basically. And he stopped being Alice Cooper. In fact, he wrestled with that for a while. How can I be Alice Cooper and a Christian? Quite a few years later, he come to terms with it that, God's pretty smart. And Alice Cooper's a character, so you can go do that. Just don't be wicked. So he came back, but never like he was. Amanda says, yep, I'm staying on him about his fluids, Amy. And thanks. We will see what they give us. And thanks again. Yes, thank you all for your concern and your support. I appreciate you very much. I will get through this thing. I am tough. It's just one of those things life throws at you. You get the most flack when you're flying over the target, and I truly believe that. And I plan on staying over the target for quite some time. It'll take more than a little sore throat to get me down. Kevin says, praying for you, Jack. Thank you, sir. I need all of that I can get. Amy says, Mountain Dew is not considered a fluid. It has water in it. I'm trying to tell y'all that. It's got water in it. I'm drinking water. I know. And Kevin says, Amy, so is glass. Oh, I missed one. Amy says, gummy bears and popsicles are considered fluids. Right on. And glass. Amanda says, right, Amy? Tell him thanks. Or coffee. It's mostly water. It's flavored water. You pour water in the coffee pot. I understand. I'll do better. I promise. You ladies are wonderful. Thank you for taking good care of me. Aaron says, LOL, I'll do it. I bet when he went, he was like, crap, what black people going to say? What are black people going to say? Maybe. That's a horrible way to go if you're a black guy, though. Angela says, hi, all. Hi, Angela. Amanda says, hi, Angela. And Amy says, hi, Angela. How are you this lovely evening? Kevin says, hello, Angela. Angela says, LOL, what kind of gummies? Those kind of gummies. Which I'm not above trying at least once. Amy says, pretty simple. Out the liquids in the handle. Oh, put the liquids in the handle, breathe it in until it runs out. Clean it and repeat 4 to 6 hours. Every 4 to 6 hours. You're talking about the nebulizer. Got it. Yeah, I know how it works. I just don't know what the little things, how much it takes or anything like that. I've never actually put one together, but I've seen it happen before. Amy says, LOL, Aaron. And Amanda says, he's going to drive me to drinking before he gets through all this, though. Why? Amy says, carbonated water, not the same thing. Oh, I know. It's really bad for you. Everything in Mountain Dew is really bad for you. I know that. Debbie, hello, darling. She says, first time I saw the Alice Cooper video, How You Gonna See Me Now, I was just dumbstruck. Just started at it and thought, wow, right? Yeah, Alice Cooper's a strange cat. Amanda says, hi, Debbie. And Kevin says, hello, Debbie. Amy says, hey, Debbie. And Amanda says, tell him, Amy. Hang on, my chat jumped. Amanda says, tell him, Amy, I'm glad it's not just me. Rachel's here. Hey, Rachel, how you doing, love? Hope you're feeling better today. Nice to see you. Amanda says, hi, Rachel. And Debbie says, coffee is water. That is a hill I will stand on. My doc said so, too. So there, ha. Thank you, I got support. Aaron says, they ask him, how did you get here? And Theo was like, messed up, went swimming. It's terrible, though. God bless his family. It must be a terrible loss. Kevin says, hello, Rachel. And Amy says, hi, Rachel. And Amanda says, I've used a nebulizer before. My son had one. Thanks, Amy. Amy says, Aaron, right. Like the Obama chef. He drowned, too. Yeah, that wasn't suspicious at all either, was it? He drowned in 2 feet of water outside of the Obama's house and nobody knew about it. And Rachel says, Debbie, sure, it's dehydrating water. Close enough. Right on. Angela says, I had one earlier. I'm about to have another one and a bowl. Gummies? Interesting. I've heard the horror stories about gummies, though. I'm kind of scared that would happen to me. Like I'd call the police and tell them I'm dead. Try to argue with them about it. Send some help, I'm dead. How are you calling us? I don't know. I can't feel my face. Time has stopped. Amy says, 1 vial, 1 dose on the nebulizer. That must be easy enough. Amanda says, drive me to drinking because you're hard-headed and don't listen. But I still love you. I listen fine. I can recite every word you've ever said to me. Verbatim. Just because I don't follow your directions do not mean I did not hear you. Ain't nothing wrong with my listener. Angela says, Amanda, I think that is almost all men, probably. I'm very stoic. I'm very set in my ways. I do things the way that I do them. You can't fault me for that. Kevin says, Amanda, Jake has to drive you. It's illegal to drink and drive. Nice. Amanda says, LOL, right, Angela? And LOL, Kevin. He does most of the driving. I do all of the driving. Because I'm a man. Aaron says, thank you for being here. My pleasure. And if I can be, I will be. I only took last night off because I literally could not talk. It was bad. I had no voice at all. And I needed some rest, so I took it. Oddly enough, I was sitting here ready to go anyway, and I kept hearing y'all's voice in my head saying, take the night off, Jake, take the night off. I said, fine, I'll take the night off. Kevin says, Amanda, that's so you can drink, right? I drive so you can drink. Only problem is neither one of us are drinkers. Amanda says, how you doing tonight, Aaron? Yeah, man. How are you? How are things? Aaron says, Amanda, I haven't slept. You need to get some sleep, buddy. I was kind of eavesdropping on your conversation the other night. Man, I'm with you, but you need to get some rest, and you need to look out for number one. If you ain't living, nobody's living. You can't very well take care of somebody else if you're not taken care of. Angela says, get them from the dispensary, and they're no problem, Jake. Right on. And also, don't eat the whole thing. I got that part. Aaron says, I'm trying my best. I'm trying the best I can. I hear you, buddy. Amanda says, I think Jake would absolutely be hilarious on gummies. I probably would talk your ear off about some esoteric random shit you've never thought of before. Because that's the kind of nerd that I am. Amanda says, all you can do, Aaron, fight that good fight. Aaron says, I remember my mom used cold cod liver oil. For what? Cod liver oil. What, for throat coating? And it says castor oil was used for everything. And Vicks. Oh, castor oil. I was a kid once. I remember castor oil. 1 drop. Or 1 teaspoon, rather. That'll make you hurl your guts up. That has been done to me. That and mercurochrome and methylate. You young people don't know shit about that. When you get a cut, you go to the doctor with a boo-boo and get a Band-Aid and a shot of steroids and some love and a bunny rabbit and all kinds of good stuff. When we were kids, I could cut my arm off and my mom would put some hot red liquid on it called methylate, which burned. It would burn the flesh off of a camel. And she'd say, go rub some dirt in it. Keep going. That was it. Methylate, mercurochrome. I'm pretty sure that causes cancer, but that's what they treated us for everything. Skint knee, anything that drew blood, methylate. Amanda says, yep. I was getting his coffee and stuff ready last night, and he comes in there and says, I'm taking the night off. And I was like, okay, good. So we went to bed. Well, there's one problem with that story. What I said was, but close enough. Aaron says, Angela, you're right. Angela says, much love to you, Aaron. Much love to you. Amy says, her loss, Aaron. She doesn't realize what a good man she had. And don't lose sleep over her. Well, I didn't know who knew what. I wasn't going to get into any detail, but they're absolutely right. You can't force somebody to love you. You can drink a horse. You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And if they're not going to love you, you're wasting your time. And you're much, much better of a man than that. And I promise you, in this chat room, there are women that would stand by your side. And that's just right here. If you put it out there, it wouldn't take you long at all. You're a good-looking man. You're young, strong, smart, well-spoken. You fear God. Those are all qualities of a good man. And I assure you, women want a good man. Don't listen to this nonsense that you hear on YouTube about feminism and all that. That's all bullshit. They'll say it. They don't mean it. I don't care if her hair's pink and twisted up in little ponytails. You show her a good man, and instantly her DNA will take over. And she'll become a good woman. Sometimes you got to teach them how to be good women. Sometimes women don't know that they want to be led, but they do. So go lead. Be strong. And don't let somebody take advantage of the love you have to give. Aaron says, thank you, Angela. And Kevin says, gummies are strong stuff, not like the stuff I used to smoke. Yeah, I think it's a whole different game these days. When we were kids, it was different. I think they got science involved now, and they, like Cheech and Chong movies. Remember the old Cheech and Chong movies where they'd smoke the stuff to turn them into a lizard? I think that's real now. Amanda says, that's right, Amy. cod liver oil for the voice. I hear you. Linda Davis says, hi, all. Hey, Linda. How are you, sweet lady? Nice to see you. Amy says, hi, Linda. And Kevin says, ℂ𝕗𝕗. You know it. Angela says, ℂ𝕙𝕚𝕝 was bad too. Sorry, iodine. That is, ℂ𝕗𝕗 is iodine. It's just a different brand. I don't remember what all is in it, but methylate was iodine and a few other things in a little thing. And it had a stick. You applied it with a stick. So they'd rub that hard stick right on your sore to apply it. So that hurt. You remember the stick? Rubbing across your knee or your arm or whatever? Yeah, that was painful. Aaron says, thank you, Dimples. And Debbie says, ℂ𝕗𝕗, good stuff. Do they even make that anymore? Can you even buy that still? I'm pretty sure it was outlawed in 25 states. So, act of terrorism to use that stuff. Amanda says, hi, Linda. Aaron says, no pants. What's up, Debbie? Angela says, 10-gram gummies is just perfect for me. Yeah, my problem is I don't know what it would do to me, and I don't want to be high. I like to be comfortably numb, but I don't want to be high at all. I don't need to lose my brain. Amanda says, oh, and one more thing added on the good list. He has a job. Yes, very, very good thing to have there. There you go, Amy. You can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think. I like that. Very nice. Very good. Horticulture. Amanda says, and he has a job. Debbie says, nothing is up, Aaron. I'm down to party. You gotta fight for your right to party. Amanda says, LOL, Amy. Kevin says, I didn't see Linda. Hello, Linda. Sorry, my chat jumped. Aaron says, LOL, Debbie. Party over there. Party over here. Linda says, I made bread today for dinner, Aaron. My granddaughter had to take a half of a loaf home because she wanted to share it with her daddy. That's so sweet. Angela says, yep. That's why I'm taking care of the man who broke up with me days before he had his stroke. God is in charge of my life. He's in charge of all of our lives. We just don't always acknowledge it. So it's wonderful that you are. Aaron says, nope, that's a good thing. And warms my heart, Linda. And Linda says, hi, Jake, Amanda, Angela, Amy, Aaron, and Kevin Hart. Nice to see you. Aaron says, Angela, you're doing good. You're doing a good thing. You are. Pardon me. Blah. And Linda says, oh, and Debbie, hi. Aaron says, Amy, what's that word mean? Which word? Horticulture? Horticulture. It's a play on words. The actual word means to dig in the dirt and plant things. Or something. Might have to do with cows. I don't know. 4-H. Shut up. You're fat. Rich S says, hey, druggies, how's everyone doing? Hey, druggie, back at you. How you doing, Rich? Ain't no druggies here. Well, they might be, but they're all over there. I'm over here. Angela says, hi, Linda. Patty's here. She says, hello. Hello, Patty. Nice to see you, lovely lady. Aaron says, hi, Patty. And Kevin says, Linda, fresh bread is so good. Yes, it is. And when it's made with love, there's nothing better. I'm telling you. I'm looking forward to a big old pound of banana bread soon. I don't know when I'm going to get it, but I'm looking forward towards it. Or zucchini bread or whatever you call that stuff you make. It's delicious. And Debbie says, 8-ball, can Aaron swim? 8-ball says, back to you, Squatcho. In other words, I don't know. Amanda says, horticulture is the science and art of cultivating plants, including fruits, vegetables, flowers, and something else. And ornamental plants. I don't know what that word is either. Ornamental. You misspelled it. And Linda says, hi, Patty and Rich. And Rich says, hi, Linda Davis. I had another thing on my mind. Oh, yeah, horticulture. It's a play on words. Whore to culture. You can lead a whore to culture, but you can't make her think. But it's funny because it's clever. See how that works? I love clever humor. Aaron says, LOL, Amanda. You on demon time for that. Amanda says, hi, Rich. Demon time? I missed that. Kevin says, hello, Rich. And Amanda says, LOL, Aaron. Smiley face. And Kevin says, hello, Patty. Amanda says, hi, Patty. And Rich says, hey, Kev. Aaron says, horticulture. LOL, OnlyFans. Yes. I'm a member of OnlyFans. I only sell feet pics, though. I'm just kidding. Patty says, is this cat always on Tuesday now? No, sir. No, ma'am. I just missed yesterday, so I'm making up for it today. It's in the title. This is a redo because I didn't do, because I didn't want to do. Now I got to do because I have to do the redo too. Angela says, it's easier now than it was in the beginning. I'm honored to do it at this point. Take care of the people. It's a lovely thing that you're doing. There's so many people out there. What's a Squatcho? Debbie, we used to have a friend called Sasquatch, and that was directed at him. A Squatcho is a Squatcho. Sasquatch. And Amanda says, it's just something Jake made up, Debbie. Right on. Amy says, it's an old Joan Rivers joke. The horticulture one. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. She was a very clever comedian. She's where we got the idea that Michelle Obama was really a man. I don't know if you knew that or not, but before she died, she said that, and she wasn't joking. It didn't sound like she was joking anyway. She said, don't you know she's a man? Everybody knows it. I didn't know it, but now I'm looking, and there seems to be a lump down there. She looks suspiciously like her brother. Who knows? Aaron says, I'm the only one besides my kids for generations that can swim. Right on. I can't swim. I mean, I can technically swim. I just can't swim very well. I can't like go out in the lake and swim around and stuff. You know, I'd run out of breath and drown. I can swim from one end of a pool to another, but that's about it. I don't have a lot of practice swimming or stamina. I do like the water, though. I'm not very good in it. I'm like a fish out of water because I don't belong in the water. Amanda says, ornamental horticulture is the branch of horticulture concerned with the cultivation and use of plants for decorative and aesthetic purposes. Did not misspell it. You go back up there and look at that word ornamental, and it doesn't start with an O-M. Or maybe my eyes are failing me. Okay, maybe my eyes are failing me. It looks like O-M-A-M. I have 50-year-old eyes. Forgive me. Amy says, hi, Patty and Rich. Angela says, smiley face and kitty paws. Kitty paws, that's a new one. Are you smiling because you're kitty pawing, or is the kitty paws making you smile? Oh, demon time is slang for being up to no good. Got it, Aaron. I hadn't heard that one. Jake on feet. I have agony of defeat. You know what agony of defeat is? That's something you get from being indiscreet. And Debbie says, I'm a collector of fine feet art. Right on. Amanda says, LOL, Debbie. They're even more valuable when they're autographed, right? Amy says, Debbie is undefeated. Nice. Rich S says, not sure there is such a thing as fine feet. You haven't seen mine. Angela says, LOL, Debbie. And Patty says, message retracted. I can't read it if you retract it. I will read it, but you got to put it out there. Rich says, feet are kind of icky. Feet are icky if they're not pretty. There are pretty feet. There are ugly feet and icky feet. I think personally that feet is a young man's game or a young woman's game, because when you got a young 19-year-old, you want to put her foot right in your mouth. If you got like a 50-year-old, you don't want that thing anywhere near your face or in your vision. You know, just depends. It's just, that's life. Young people have nice feet. I used to have feet that looked like model feet. My hands, too. I had really, really nice hands. Now that I've gotten older, they're fat and knobby and eat up with nicks and bruises and cuts and breaks. And my feet are getting gangly. But that's just age. Amanda says, I have fine feet. No, you have fine toes. Your feet are feet. You have cute toes, though. Scrumptious. Rich S says, yak. Or yake. Yeah. Okay. Aaron says, Squatcho, a Bigfoot with muscles. Right on. Angela says, I love Joan Rivers. She would make me laugh so hard. She was a good comedian. And way ahead of her time. One of the few women that are actually funny. I personally don't think women are funny as far as comedians go. I've seen very few. But Joan Rivers was one that was, she made up for that. She was very funny. Amanda says, LOL. I do, Rich. Wait, Jake will tell you. She does have eatable toes. And Amanda says, I like swimming. What it is, I belong in the water. I'm a Pisces. Right on, buddy. Nice to see you, what it is. Kevin says, hello, what it is. And Batshit Crazy's here. He says, what's up? Hey, Batshit, nice to see you. Aaron says, Jake has said Amanda has nice feet on the cast before. Yep, she definitely has nice feet. Kevin says, hello, Batshit. Amanda says, hi, what it is, and hi, batshit. Come on now. Rich says, is it what is it or what it is? Jake wants to know. Jake doesn't need to know. I named him what it is. That's what it is. It's what it is. You know, like dynamite. What it is. Just works better. Sounds better. Rolls off the tongue better than what is it. But that's his name. What is it? But when I say it, it's what it is. You can say it or not. It's not a rule or anything. He has never corrected me, so I go with it. Amy says, hi, what it is, and hi, bat. And what it is says, hello, everybody. The show can now begin. What is it? Is in the building. The show can now begin. What it is in the building. Right on. It's a party now. Amanda says, that's right, Aaron. And Debbie says, Joan Rivers died shortly after she said it, too, during a routine office surgery. Sounds fishy to me. And the office completely closed down the next day, and her daughter went incognito. Yeah, something weird went down that night for sure. I seem to remember that now that you mention it. Batshit Crazy says, will Obama Clinton actually get indicted? Of course not. Who are you talking to? Think about it for a minute. Have you ever seen a bad guy get in trouble for being a bad guy? People don't get in trouble for telling lies. They get in trouble for telling the truth. There's never been a president that was shot that was a bad president. Think about it. The only presidents that get shot are good presidents, doing good things for the people. They are bad because the whole system is bad and they're the top of it. The system has and will protect them at all costs. Of course, they will never get indicted. They might get lambasted in a court of public appeal. They might get drugged through the mud. They might get humiliated or called out. They're not going to go to jail over it, though. No. If they were, they already would have been. Hillary Clinton had a server in her bathroom that was connected to Russia and China. And then when she got indicted, she destroyed 50,000 emails and then beat her phones up with a hammer after bleach bitting them with the software to wipe them clean. And nobody did anything about that. Now you tell me, if I did that, where would I be right now? If FBI was looking at me and I went destroying things, where would I be? She had a server in her bathroom dealing with top secret information from D.C. You're not allowed to leave the building with that information. In fact, you can't even talk about it without going into a SCIF. A SCIF is a room inside of a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage stops all electronic signals from coming in. You're basically in a hermetically sealed environment, and you can talk in there privately. Nothing goes in, nothing comes out, except you. Your search going in and your search going out. That's called a SCIF. She was dealing with that stuff at her house in private, and we didn't know about it until she got caught doing it. She didn't go to jail for that. She's not going to go to jail for anything else, and neither will Obama. But it would be nice to know that they were called out and everybody knew they were the crooks that they are. That would be nice. That's all I'm hoping for anyway. Kevin says, Rich, what is it? However you want to call it. Angela says, they are feet, Jake. Sending feet pics. Well, you can send me feet pics all you want. I'll take it. And what it is, I've been down to suck on someone's toes. So have I. And other things. Amanda says, LOL, Angela. Maybe. Are you asking me for a feet pic, Angela, or are you telling me you want to send me one? Or are you saying that you also sell feet pics? What are you saying there? They are feet. Jake, sending feet pics. Aaron says, Debbie, got a wall that says Footloose. Nice. Footloose? What? I know what would be a perfect image to put on that wall. Amanda says, coming from the one who bites my toes all the time. They're there. How can you not bite on them? Rich says, Amanda, how old are you again? LOL. She is 10 years my younger. Ish. 8 or 10. She's back there. What it is says, now, Jake, there are women that are 50 years of age that are just smoking hot. You are right. It's rare, but there are women out there that are so well put together that you would never guess they were 50 or above. Some of them are very attractive, but it takes a lot of work to do that. That is not natural. Batshit Crazy says, you all tore up, Jake. I know. Amy says, don't ask a woman her age, Rich. I always wondered why. I never understood that. I know that's a thing, but I never understood why. I always was under the impression that the older a woman got, the more wise she got, and the more educated she was. It's a good thing to be wise and educated. Maybe I'm wrong. Amanda says, I'm 44. Rich says, just asking because of what Jake just said. About what? About the feet? About biting the feet? She has pretty toes. She has unusually pretty toes. They're scrumptious. If you saw them, you'd want to bite them too. Amanda says, no, Kevin says, Amanda is 3 years older than my daughter. Right on. Fab Daddy, what's up? He says, do not read. Amy says, love Joan Rivers and Roseanne. I like Roseanne back in the day. She's gone a little bit loopy for my taste nowadays. She's still Roseanne, though. She's still funny, but a little bit old. I mean that it's gotten old. Back in the day, though, when she did the Roseanne show back in the beginning, hilarious. And she was one of those good comedian women, too. Very, very few women are funny. She's one of them. And Kevin says, hello, Fab Daddy. How you doing, Fab? Nice to see you. Amanda says, LOL, Rich. He's always biting my toes. And Aaron says, I had a woman say older than fine wine and younger than to mama. And she was funny lady. Well, older than fine wine and younger than your mama. Got it. Wow. She'd probably be one of those that'd get you in trouble. Fab Daddy says, can I read it now? What it is, it's what is it? Not to me. Amy says, hi, Fab. Amanda says, hi, Fab. And Linda Davis says, Rich, how are you? Rich says, hello, my dear. Fab Daddy says, autocorrect screwed my last comment. Don't you hate it when that happens? I wouldn't know, though, because I didn't read it. You told me not to. You can't have it both ways. Angela says, Amanda, these are the feet. ... I sent feet pics. And yes, That second gummy is making me silly. I am on my own level right now, I guess. That's all right, Angela. You just enjoy the plateau. And listen to the soothing sounds of my raspy voice as you crest the mountaintop. Or whatever it is you do when you're high. Amy says, I have ugly feet. I only have 9 toenails. So does she. Right now. They're not always pretty. Fab Daddy says, Happy Tuesday, not trust. That made perfect sense. Aaron says, Amy, prove it. Show me them feet. Fab Daddy says, I see all you wonderful people. Do I need to write each of your names? No. We all know you said hello. You could just say hi, and then that would apply to everybody, and we all know it. Rich S says, there was no need to share that, Ames. Why? She has every right to share whatever she wants. I can accept that she only has 9 toenails. Amy says, it's okay, Fab. Just say hi, y'all. Right, just say hi. We all know who you're talking to. Fab Daddy says, if you require a shout out, I will. Thank you. Amanda says, there is your side hustle, Amy. Feet pics. I've done it. I made pretty good money on feet pics so far. I've only sold 1 and it paid my light bill. Fab Daddy says, some people need more love than others. True. True that. Are you one of those people, Fab Daddy? I love you. Amy says, I choose to share whatever I want with this family, Rich. Right on. Aaron says, all people need love, Fab Daddy. Yep, some just don't want to admit it for nothing, but they all need it, for sure. Rich says, can you just share things we won't have to visualize, though? You don't have to visualize anything. You can choose to not participate. It's not a requirement. You could just go delete it. Fab Daddy says, I got a lot of love, and I don't mind sharing. That's wonderful, Fab Daddy. It's wonderful to be a man that can give love. That's a beautiful thing to be. I'm proud of you. Debbie says, and Hillary Clinton stole the software on her computer from the government. Anyone else would be under the jail. Right. She did quite a few things. Then when she got subpoenaed to the Congress, go back and watch her deposition before Congress when they hauled her in to question her about all that. She was flippant and sarcastic and smarmy like a 13-year-old. You'd have thought you were looking at a grade schooler there getting chewed out by a principal and her showing attitude. I couldn't believe that used to be the first lady acting like that. That was the first time I really knew how evil she was. Aaron says, thank you, Fab. Right on. Fab Daddy says, sure, Rich, the back of your eyelids. That's a thing you don't have to visualize. Amy says, I saw a thing today that they found a bunch of Hillary's emails files. Probably. She disappeared like 50,000 of them. It would be interesting if we ever found any of them. Rich S says, Amy, don't get me wrong. If you want to share that, you have a cut-off t-shirt and nothing else, that'd be okay too. I think Rich wants you to share nudie images in his mind. Amy says, inside a skiff, if you violate the security, it's a federal felony. Right on. Yeah, it's a place that you go to talk about sensitive material, and it's the only legal place that you can actually discuss top secret stuff, because top secret means you can't talk about it. So it's in their interest to keep things in that skiff. I think there might be a way to take documents in the skiff, like through a tube or something, one of those bank tubes. You remember those things? Take it out. But I don't think you can take them in and out the door. It's kind of weird. I only recently, in the past 15 years, discovered that was a thing. I didn't even know they had that. Little private rooms in the Faraday cages. Fab Daddy says, Amy, it's a military offense, so it's even worse than federal felony. That's the kind of thing get you put in Guantanamo Bay. Kevin says, Amy, unless you're one of the elites. Right. What it is says, foot long. Amy says, it's both, I think, Fab and Kevin. Maybe. Aaron says, Kevin Bacon with no shoes at the wall. Comment to Jake. Kevin Bacon with no shoes, or Kevin Beacon with no shoes at the wall. Comment to Jake. Beacon with no shoes at the wall. I don't get it. You have to be more specific. Angela says, no, the kitty or puppy prints are the feet pics I sent. Got it. Understood. You sent paw prints. What it is if older women are cougars, Jake, does that make you a lion? Oh, I'm a lion, baby. You can believe that. I'm a lion amongst the sheep. But I go the other way, typically. I'm into younger chicks. You know how it is. Linda says, no, Jake, it sucks getting old. It really does. I know it does. But Linda, some of us get old with grace, and some of us just train wreck. You're one of those that are getting old with grace. How lovely you are. I'm one of those train wreck type of older guys. I'm not silvering and graying like a fox. I'm train wrecking like a Thomas the Tank Engine or something. Kevin says, what it is? Panther. Right on. You guys are talking about something I don't know what you're talking about. Amy says, lion tamer. Right on. Nice. Hang on, my chat jumped. All right, I found it. Fab Daddy says, I don't have a foot fetish until my feet don't work anymore. Aaron says, John Goodman was funny too. Yes, he was. Didn't he die also? Like not too long ago? Seems like I remember hearing that he died. But I used to love that guy. He's been in a lot of great movies, and he always plays these weird characters. I've always liked that about him. Fab Daddy says, okay, top messages switched to all. You got to switch it to all so you get all of them. Fab Daddy says, hit that like button, please. Yes, hit that like button. It's free and it's right in front of you. Double tap if you're on a phone or it's behind the three dots. One of those things. Like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available if you want to show a little bit of love. If you want to, you can do that by going to CashApp, $JakeJohnsonBand. I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Fab Daddy. What it is says, tap that like button. And Fab Daddy says, is Jake gonna read tonight? Not tonight. I don't quite have the breath or the voice to push it out in the way it needs to be pushed out. This is a very sensitive book, very deep book that we're in, And I just felt like I couldn't do it justice tonight. So I'm just going to talk to you guys so that you'll know I love you. And I'm here, even though I need to be resting. And we'll get through this week. And next Sunday, I'll double up. I'll do an extra long one on Sunday or Monday or something. Make up for it. But I really did need to rest last night. It was bad. I was at the end of my rope. So I'm a little better today, but just I can't trust that my voice is going to hold out. So Amanda says, and my feet are soft and not all calloused up or cracked. LOL. That's when they're nice feet, when they're taken care of. Linda Davis says, I meant to ask Rich, how old is he? Oops. Rich, how old are you? I'm going to guess 42. Aaron says, Amanda got her feet game up. Yes. Let me tell you something about Amanda. Guys, you'll appreciate this. Girls, you probably know how to do this in your sleep. Amanda is warm. I mean, to the touch, like an electric blanket warm. I've laid with a few women in my life. You might have imagined. I've been in the sack a couple times. I've never laid with anybody that kept me warm. I didn't know that I needed to be kept warm. It's like snuggling up next to a fire log. That's amazing. And her feet, they make me want to touch them. I'm not a foot person. I don't have a foot fetish. I don't care about feet. Her feet fit my hands perfectly. Make me want to touch them. You can't buy that. Whatever that is, it's simpatico. It's compatibility. Don't know how you get that. But you want a woman that makes you feel that way. It's inviting. You ever been with a woman that was inviting, like physically? That's what you're after, I promise. So if you ever ask yourself, well, I don't know what I want in a woman, that's what you want in a woman. And a never-ending coffee cup. And it doesn't hurt that she can hold her breath for 3 minutes. And she has a flat spot on her head. I'm just kidding. Amanda says, 9 toenails because I kicked a concrete step with my pinky toe and lifted the nail and it just fell off the other day. It'll grow back though. Aaron says, Ranch Doritos got me feeling some type of way. Are you getting emotional over your Ranch Doritos there, Aaron? Kevin says, Amanda, I only have 8 fingertips. LOL. What'd you do? Cut 2 of them off? I used to go to school with a guy that had a nub and had a finger missing. Amanda says, LOL, Aaron. We had nacho Dorito crusted chicken last night for dinner. It was good. And Kevin says, nickname is Uncle Stumpy. Wow. Uncle Stumpy. But I bet you could poke somebody and it'd hurt, though. Which fingers are it? Is it your first 2 or your middle 2 or your last 2? Or 1 on each hand? Amanda says, oh no, Kevin. Amy says, Kevin lost his fingers in a bar fight. Wow. Scary. Aaron says, you got a toe in one of the pics you sent me, Amanda. LOL. I'm going to hold it for ransom. Just kidding. Hold her toe for ransom. You going to blackmail her with toe pics? Amanda says, LOL, Kevin. I had an uncle who was missing part of his bird finger. So his first 3 fingers were all the same length. And Kevin says, Amanda, same here. Amanda says, LOL, Aaron. Well, damn. You don't have to do all that. I'll send you a whole foot. Aaron says, Amanda, you got to do a flaming hot Doritos on wings. I concur. I think that would be good. Yes. We discovered flaming hot Funyuns the other day. And those were delicious. I like Funyuns anyway. The onion ring type chips, I guess they're chips. They look like onion rings. They're delicious. Onion flavored. But they have them and they're super hot. And I thought we ought to crush those up and bread chicken with them. That'd be really good. So it's these three fingers all the same length. Kevin says, Amanda, my index and ring finger are the size of my pinky. How did you manage that? What happened? Somebody slam a chair down on your hand or something? Slice you with a bottle? Linda says, I have a friend that is missing his ring finger, and he says that's why he will never get married. It's kind of hard to put a ring on it, huh? Aaron says, I'm not a foot man, Amanda. I'm not either, really. I'm a her feet man, but not much of a feet man. Amy says, my dad lost his ring finger in Vietnam. His wedding ring got caught on the ladder. That's why they tell you to take that thing off, because it's dangerous. Sailors were coming down on top of him and ripped it off. And the rest on that hand. And he lost the rest of the fingers on that hand. He lost to a table saw. Wow. So he lost all his fingers then. Amanda says, LOL, Linda. Amy says, he literally had just a thumb and his middle finger left. Wow. Amanda says, well, good, Aaron. And Debbie says, I knew the Clintons were evil after the trail of destruction they left in Arkansas. How many people you know died by suicide, car wrecks, and deadly diseases discovered a week earlier, right? Yeah, there was some strange things afoot in Mena, Arkansas there when Bill Clinton was governor. They were doing all kinds of strange stuff there. The CIA was using that as a hub to bring drugs into the country. Iran-Contra was training there in Mena, Arkansas. It's kind of a strange situation going on there. I didn't learn about all that until later in the world, though. I didn't know it when it was going on. I was just a kid. Kevin says, Amy, that hurts. Debbie says, the Clintons know several. I'm just saying, right? Yeah, their body count's way up there. It's beyond uncanny. Aaron says, footloose wall, Jake. Got it. Kevin Bacon, footloose. Got it. Understood. It took me until now to put those two things together, but now that you say it, I got it. Amanda says, he's into younger women and can't keep up with me. LOL. I wear his ass out. Well, I'm old. Aaron says, Jake Lionheart. I'm something. Debbie says, well, Amanda, you are younger. Exactly. She was really younger when I met her. We've been together for 35 years. So, basically, off and on. Amanda says, yes, Debbie. And Aaron says, don't do the math on that, by the way. Aaron says, Amanda got that. Amanda Bottom's aging. She got something. Amanda Button's aging, right? Aging backwards. Like Brad Pitt in that movie. I can't remember the name of the movie now. Something Buttons. Stupid autocorrect. Right on. I got what you're saying, though. Linda says, Amanda, women don't peak until they are over 30. Men peak when they're 20. So I think it works being cougars. I think you're right about that. Yeah, women develop into their sexual drives. Men start off with it. So it's a good comparison. Debbie says, Jake gives good talk. Whew, I'm swooning. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Amanda says, that's right, Linda. I'm much more active than he is. It hasn't always been the case, though. I'm peaking. I'm at my age. I'm sundowning. Amy says, I'm a saber-toothed tiger if we're going by age. Wow. Prehistoric, you mean? Aaron says, let me see those teeth, Dimples. Amanda says, oh, that's so sweet, Jake, and I love you too. Debbie says, I'm a goblin shark. I don't even know what a goblin shark is, but it sounds kinky. Amanda says, Jake would like a hot Doritos on wings, definitely. I definitely would. I love chicken wings. I could survive on chicken wings. Aaron says, LOL, Debbie. Gobbling. Gobble, gobble. Kevin says, sorry, middle finger and pointer finger tip on the right hand. Baseball bat against an old bumperjack. Bat won. Sorry to hear that. Try harder next time, right? Aaron says, I didn't mean to. Benjamin Buttons. Thank you, Aaron. I couldn't think of what it was, but yeah, I got what you were saying. Debbie says, it's okay. I am old. And swooning is like a state of ecstasy. I'm with you. I'm glad to be part of that. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you picking up what I'm laying down. Aaron says, oh, I see. At this day and time, though, at my present age, I'm a lot better at talking than I am at doing. My mind is willing, but the body's like, can we just take a nap? For God's sakes. Jesus Christ, man. Aaron says, swooning with no pants and gobbling. That's how I like it. No. It's all fun and games. Don't take me seriously. I'm just poking fun at you. And Debbie says, that's me, Aaron, in a nutshell. No pants and gobbling. Amanda says, nope, nap. I will take it, LOL. Well, I don't have to be awake for you to take it. Have at it. I'm taking a nap. Linda says, Amanda is saying you can take a nap so you can go again. She's saying, stop taking naps. You hadn't gone the first time. It is amazing. I used to sleep 4 hours a night, and the rest of the time I was bouncing off the walls, full of energy, unmitigated energy, never ending. I could get a second wind and a third wind and keep on going. I could work 3 days straight, no problem, day and night. I've done that many a times. But as soon as I hit 50, it's like, oh, you need a nap. And that never stopped. Now I have to have a nap in the middle of the day to get through the rest of the day. Age kind of hit me all at once. I wasn't expecting any of it. My mind is still 25 years old. And all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, my body's like, yep, we're done. Shut down. And I'm having to learn how to adjust to that because it is not pleasant. Aaron says, haha, Debbie, try to get the nut out the shell. And Debbie says, I will, Aaron, on the first try. Good gracious. That sounds like confidence. Amanda says 50. No, more like 40, LOL, Mr. Napper. I didn't start taking naps till I was about 50. Probably 40, 48, 49, somewhere around there. Aaron says, ooh. Kevin says, I catch up on sleep on the weekends. So do I. I don't do anything starting Friday night after podcast shuts down. I don't do anything until Saturday when the podcast starts up. And then I go back to bed, and I don't do anything until Sunday the podcast starts up. Nothing but sleep. Here lately anyway. But I've also been pushing, trying to get all this stuff together. My land taxes paid off and all that, which I did yesterday. So that's off my back. Wonderful. I mean, Amanda says, that's what I'm talking about, Debbie. Right on. Amanda's like that, too. Confident. Kevin says, during the week, 4 or 5 hours sleep. Yeah, I don't usually go to bed till around 2 o'clock. And I'm up and at 'em early in the morning. So I don't get a whole lot. I don't get 6 hours. I might get 4 or 5, but I don't get 6. Aaron says, facts, Amanda. But I also have 2 jobs, this and a full-time job. So I'm working like 80 hours a week. Aaron says, had no comeback? See what I did there? I did. I saw it. Amanda says, confident. Well, when you're good, you're good. Right, Debbie? Yep. I was good when I was younger. Now I'm just relaxing. If I had a rocking chair, I'd rock. Debbie says, right, Amanda. It's not bragging if it's true. Amen. It ain't bragging if you're right. It ain't bragging if you're right. It's bragging if you can't back it up. Amanda says, that's right, Debbie. Smiley face. And we know who does what, don't we? Aaron says, I catch sharks. I'm just saying. Well, we got a goblin shark in here, Aaron. Might need a catching. Amanda says, LOL, Aaron. He says, what? I'm just showing my resume. Right on. It helps to be qualified. Debbie says, goblin shark live in the deepest part of the ocean. Come and get it. Oh, shit. Kevin says, Alonzo Bowden, comedian. Girls want to have sex all night. At my age, I only get one good one. Yep. Amy says, sorry, I'm back. I was in a meeting. Well, was it a fruitful meeting? Did you meet? Aaron says, shh, Amy, that's our secret. Well, not anymore. But the last. I think we're being bombed. Hang on. I was wondering what the hell that noise was. It was getting louder and louder and louder. There's a jet flying over my house real low. Amy says, in a meeting with the third shift manager. Right on. Debbie says, I thought Amy went to drop the kids off at the pool. I know that expression. Gross. Aaron says, I'm messing with you, Amy. We know what you mean. I gotta send her a feet pic. Amy says, I'm confused. What did I miss? Nothing. We're just all shooting the breeze, talking nonsense. Linda Davis says, I'm rounding the corner to 60, and I'd still be chasing my husband if he was here. It's been too long. You all get me hot and bothered. Just kidding. I feel you, Linda. I understand. Believe me. Like I said, my mind is willing. My body's just getting old, and it don't like playing anymore. But up here, I'm still 25 and rare, you know. Amanda says, lots, Amy. LOL. Aaron said, you said you were in a meeting, and I was joking that it was in a meeting with me. Shh, it's our secret. Well, that'd be all right, too, wouldn't it? I'm pretty sure Amy does good meeting. You ought to get yourself a Zoom call and see what happens. And if you're going to learn to play the game, boy, you got to learn to play it right. And Debbie says, Amy and Aaron sitting in a tree. Nice. I like it. Kevin says, I've never done it in a tree. Well, you don't know what you're missing. It's barky. Barky and creasy. But fun. I have. Aaron says, watching the shark gobble. Yep. The old Glug Glug 3000. Got to be careful. Those trees are dangerous. Find yourself sitting in one, you never know what might happen. And Debbie says, trees are easy in the hammock. That is tricky. Yeah, because you're kind of hard to bend that way. You got to go sideways. Amy says, Debbie and Kevin on the other branch. Debbie and Kevin, Amy and Aaron, Jake and Amanda. Linda says, maybe against a tree. Yes, that works. Kevin says, something tells me I'd fall out of the tree. Yeah, you might. It would definitely be interesting. And we're not little teenagers anymore. Frolicking out in the wilderness ain't as appealing as it once was. Amanda told me one time, she goes, I'd like to do it in the rain. And I was like, why? That does not sound like a good time to me at all. She says, it's romantic. I said, yeah, if you're 19. To me, it just sounds like a backache and a wet ass. Aaron says, Linda, that one is kind of fun unless it's poison ivy, right? Amanda says, add a boat ramp on the hood of a Datsun B210. I've been there, done that. Debbie says, hold on, Kevin. This cowgirl is ready to ride. Damn. And Linda says, I don't catch poison ivy, Aaron. LOL. Nice. That was a subtle hint, Aaron. Kevin says, I hope there's a shit ton of leaves under that tree. Amy says, that leaves rich under the tree with a chainsaw. Scary. And Amanda says, yes, in the rain, slipping and sliding. Yes, definitely. No, definitely not. That does not sound fun at all to an old man. Not unless you got an umbrella and a tube of Bengay. Aaron says, Kevin, throw him a hat and takes a saddle bareback. Debbie says, rain is good. Just stay away from sand. Yes, sand is gross. It gets in places sand ain't supposed to go. Amanda says, right, Debbie? Yeah, when I was younger, that was appealing. As an older person, I'm not feeling it. Aaron says, Amy, if they cut the tree down, I got your back. And Amanda says, you would be thinking about an umbrella. You wouldn't be thinking about an umbrella or Bengay, I promise. Well, damn. I'm going to go to bed on that note. All right, it's 10 o'clock, and I'm at the bottom of the chat. Sand crabs are not our friends, says Debbie. Or fleas. Or anything else, creepies and crawlies in the dirt. Yeah. Aaron says, Kev, Debbie wants a ride. Kev, get busy, my friend. Invitation is an invitation. All right. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow night, right here, 8:30, for a real proper chill stream. And then again on Friday. And then we'll get back to a good Bible study next weekend. Amy says, knowing my luck, I'd get stuck in the tree and you'd have to call the fire department to get me down. Yeah, that would be embarrassing. Patty says, thank you, Miss Amanda and Jake. Thank you, Patty. God bless you, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. Debbie says, good night, all y'all. Good night, everybody. Amanda says, see you tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Untethered Live for a chill stream. Much love, y'all. Kevin says, good night, everybody. God bless you all. Thank you for being here and putting up with my scratchy voice. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow night. God bless. Thanks for watching.